Hey, welcome back, podcast friends. Now, today's episode is going to be like a part two of a two-part series. And last week we talked about is running better than walking. And if you listen to that, you'll know that no, actually running can be very, very hard on your body. And walking is very, very important for you to be able to do. So you do not have to walk. In fact, I never really mentioned, but you know that this whole exercise, running and lifting and all this hasn't, people haven't been doing this forever. This really became big after our dietary guidelines came out in 1977. Because, and again, just to make sure everybody realizes this, the dietary guidelines, the food pyramid was a marketing scheme by the food companies. There was no scientific backing behind that whatsoever. So once the food marketing people came out and came up with this food pyramid, everybody started eating all these carbohydrates that we never used to eat before because all man-made food is made out of carbohydrates. And now here it is, 40, 50 years later, and now we see how horrible that marketing scheme was and how horrible everybody's health has gotten. So that's kind of once everybody started becoming obese, because people didn't used to be obese like they are now. Once people became obese after our dietary guidelines came out in 77, now all of a sudden there was this big exercise craze because they continued to lie to you, saying that, yes, these carbohydrates are great. This is what you should be doing. And if you're getting obese, it's because you're eating too much. It's your fault. And you've got to exercise to get that fat back off. All of this is a lie. It's all a lie. You do not ever have to eat carbohydrates. That's a lie. You definitely don't have them as the main thing on your plate. But if you never put a plant-based food in your mouth ever again, you will be perfectly healthy with no trouble. Exercising, you do not exercise to lose fat. And I went into that in the last podcast, because by the time you get to your stored fat, you're already depleted of everything. You're depleted of all your glucose in your blood, your fat in your blood, your glucose in your stored cell, and then you get to your fat. And remember, 1 pound of fat has 4,000 calories. Okay, 1 pound of fat has 4,000 calories. If you have a very, very stressful workout, for 60-minute workout of lifting heavy weights, you're only going to burn off about 440 calories. You have 2,000 calories in your glucose stores. So you have plenty of glucose stores for a good heavy workout, and you never touch the fat in your fat cells. There's only one way to burn the fat out of your fat cells, and that's keeping your insulin levels low. Okay, so I just want to make sure that that's all clear. This is all new. Exercising, running, all this is really fairly new just since our guidelines came out and everybody started getting very obese and very sick. So that brings up, do you have to exercise? No, you do not have to exercise to lose weight, but yes, you need to move your body. The way you need to think about this is, what do you want to do in the future? So if you're young and you have all these hopes of becoming a whatever, a sports person, a National Football League or whatever, you're going to be training a lot different than somebody who is just wanting to live a normal life. But when you live a normal life, there's still things that you're going to be needing to do. You're going to need to be able to walk around, just walk, move your body. You're going to be able to have to lift things. You may get scared and you have to sprint really quick. Maybe somebody's getting ready to run out in front of a car, or a baby's going to fall or something. And you have to be able to move really quickly to be able to take care of that. So that's the kinds of things that you need to be thinking about now. Do little bitty things every single day. So as you get older, you're still going to be able to do that kind of stuff. So that's the way I want you to think about all this. Exercise just so your body is going under a little bit more stress than you'll ever have to need. Same thing with sprinting or doing this quick movements. Just do it enough to where you're going to be able to, if that happens in the future, you're going to be able to take care of it. So that's how we're going to be talking about this. It's not I don't want people who are obese to think that, oh my gosh, I have to exercise to lose this weight. That is not true. Okay, so that's what I want to go through as I go through this. So, and again, that's all marketing. That's all marketing by all your exercise, athletic equipment, and all that. It's all marketing. I want you to think of health. Think about what your body actually needs. And that's what it's going to need. It's going to need resistance training. Resistance training means lift heavy things. What does heavy mean? That's totally up to you. It depends on what shape you're in right now. But you want to lift heavy things just to keep your muscles stimulated, just to make your muscles be able to take care of things that you may have to do in the future. You may fall. You may have to lift something. You may have to carry something. You may want to carry your children. You may want to carry your grandchildren. You may want to carry groceries in from the car. Maybe something falls over and you need to pick it up. Maybe somebody falls over and you need to pick them up. So you want to be prepared for anything that may happen in the future. So if you exercise now, just little bitty weight training, just keep your muscles in shape. Then later on, if something happens, your muscles will be able to take care of you. And there's other things. Grip strength. The grip strength is things that a lot of people don't even think about. But as you get older, you're going to want to, maybe you start to fall and you go to grab for something, but you don't have any grip strength, so you can't hold on to it. Maybe you're in the shower or the tub and you've got the bars. If you don't have any grip strength, it doesn't matter if you have bars on your tub or not, you're still not going to be able to pull yourself out of the tub. And this is a very common thing as people get older and older. They don't think about their grip strength. They do have the bars on their tubs and on their shower, but they still can't do it because their grip strength is so low. So how can you improve grip strength? Hold things. One thing that you can do, depending on where your level is, but we have a pull-up bar that just very easy, very lightweight. It attaches to a door frame. And my wife and I, we will just hang from the doorbell. Just like you're going to do a pull-up, but don't do a pull-up, just hang. Now, a normal person, just average person who's not very in shape, should be able to hang for at least 10 seconds. If you're a little bit better at that, then you can hang for like 20 to 30 seconds. And if you're real fit, you should be able to hang for anywhere from 30 seconds to 60 seconds. Now, personally, my wife, she's almost 60 and she can hang for 60 seconds. I'm 62 and I can hang for 120 seconds. Okay. But this is just slow things that we've done every single day just to make sure that we keep our grip strength. And it's for the same reason. You don't try to do all this at one time. You need to just do little bitty things every single day. Just like I've talked about balance. Balance is another thing that people tend to lose as they get older. So as I've talked about in past podcasts, what I'll do is every day when I brush my teeth, I just stand on one foot. And every 30 seconds, I switch back and forth from one foot to the other, just stand on one foot, just to help with my balance. And I've done that for so long now that it's just a habit. As soon as I get there, as soon as I get my toothbrush and I put it in my mouth, one of my legs comes up off the floor. I'll be sitting there standing on one foot, brushing my teeth, and then all of a sudden realize I don't even remember getting my toothbrush and the toothpaste out. But when I finally come to my senses, I'm looking in the mirror at me standing on one foot. So that's kind of the way you want to do this. You want to get all this stuff where it's just habit, just like brushing your teeth, just like taking a shower. This is just something that you do. So you need to be aware. You need to be thinking about grip strength. You're going to need that. You're going to need flexibility. You're going to need balance, and you're going to need lower body strength and arm strength. You don't have to go bodybuilding. Just be able to handle things that you may come across in the future. And it's just like Newton's first law says, an object in motion stays in motion, and an object at rest stays at rest. And you'll know this. If you've ever gotten in any kind of a good program, a fitness program, and everything's going great, and you're getting up every single day, and you're working out, and everything's great, then something happens. You go on vacation, whatever, something happens, and you skip a day. Well, then you might skip 2, and then 3, and now it's really kind of easy to skip, but now you try to get back on, and it's harder to get back on. But if you're just going all the time, every single day, just make little bitty adjustments every single day, and make sure that those adjustments are something that's going to be getting just a little bit better every single day. So this is why they call sitting is the new smoking. Sitting, when you sit, no, we do not have to run. Okay. We do have to walk, because even though long distance running, marathon running, and this powerlifting, that is not natural. But sitting is not natural either. Our body is not really prepared for either one of those unless you go through a lot of things to get it prepared for the exercise. So what you want to do is you want to decrease the inflammation of the body. And when you sit, just like we talked about in the last podcast, when you sit, you're totally disengaged. Your core is not engaged, so you tend to slump over. That puts stress on your back and on your spine. Your gluteal muscles are not contracted. That means your butt. So your butt gets flat, real flabby. Your hamstrings, they shrink and they tighten up. So then when you get up, it makes it even harder to walk, and you tend to get bent over as you go on through life. So this is why you should not be walking. You need to be getting up periodically throughout the day and walking. And that's what we'll talk about. But just by sitting, you're actually putting inflammation all throughout your body, because that's another thing, because your body doesn't want to just sit. If you don't know what inflammation is, I did an entire podcast on that. It's on episode 33, and it's what is inflammation and what does it do to your body. I highly recommend you going back and listening to that if you don't understand what inflammation is, because inflammation is good to a point, but you can get too much inflammation, and now that starts causing lots of damage. And there's other things that we do. So sitting is one that causes inflammation in our body. But again, as we've talked about all the time, ultra processed food, man-made food, the things in box, bottle, bag, and can, it is all horribly, horribly inflammatory to our bodies. Anything in the center aisles of the grocery store, anything that has a label with more than 3 to 4 ingredients on it, if you're reading the ingredient list and you don't know what something is, it's a chemical. It's a chemical that's going to be hurting you, putting inflammation in your body. Artificial dyes, artificial sweeteners, artificial coloring, artificial flavoring, even natural flavoring. That does not mean anything. Natural flavoring does not mean that's good. There's still chemicals all over the place. Besides the chemicals that they spray on all the crops that they use to make all this horrible toxic sludge that the man-made food manufacturer given us. All those are extremely inflammatory. All the man-made food is made out of ultra-processed grains, which is just plain sugar, plain glucose that you're putting in your body. Extremely inflammatory because they try to get the oils out of these seeds and these grains. So there's all kinds of chemicals they tend to put on it to get the oil out. So that's more inflammatory chemicals you're putting in your body. Then they all have sugar and high fructose corn syrup, which is the exact same thing. Please do not ever let any of these food manufacturers or anybody tell you that high fructose corn syrup is better than sugar. It's a lie. They're both toxic, period. They're both toxic. They both have fructose. Fructose is toxic. Sugar is toxic. It's extremely inflammatory to your body. And the carbohydrates, is another thing. That's what's causing all the obesity that we're seeing today. And then also, besides vegetable and seed oils, which are toxic and inflammatory to your body, and the sugar and high fructose corn syrup and the ultra processed grains, then you have people who go out and they exercise all the time, every single day. They're sitting out there working and working and working. Your bodies aren't used to this. And if your body's not used to it, this also puts inflammation in your body. So you can work out so hard that you actually are causing damage to your body and not the health. And you can see this even with marathon runners. When they cross the line, what do? They crash on the ground. And I guarantee after that, for the next week or so, their body's still trying to recoup from this damage that they did to it. You do not have to do that. And then also overly stressful lifestyles. This is something you have to really worry about. And we'll talk about that in just a little bit. But any kind of stress that's in your life, please look at it, analyze it. If you can get rid of it, that's great. If you can do something else to be able to help you cope with it, that's great. But you've got to deal with it. You can't just say, there's nothing else to do. I'm stuck in this situation, and you're stressed over all the time. That's something that you do not want to do. Stress also is very, very hard on the body. So, now remember, as far as exercising, humans actually burn off about the same amount of calories every day, no matter what they do. Because as far as your metabolism, exercise is just a tiny, tiny portion of that. That really doesn't affect anything. Like I said, when you work out really, really hard, lifting weights really, really heavy, even then you're only burning around 440 calories, okay, during that workout. So you're not burning a lot compared to how many calories you have already on in your stores, which is about 2,000 calories just of glucose stores. So you're never going to be able to worry about that. You can never out train a bad diet. The wonder drug. You can never take a tablet to make you lose weight either. Okay. In fact, a lot of things, especially if you take a medication for diabetes, you're actually making your diabetes worse, and you're making you are gaining weight, you're gaining fat. Anybody who's been on diabetic medications, especially if you're on insulin, you realize that insulin is what actually causes you to gain weight, to become more fat. So you will never, ever, ever take a drug to help you lose weight, because the only way to lose weight, the only way to lose fat is to keep your insulin levels low. And there is no drug that can do that. And even if they came out with one, I would say, do not take that drug. It is not natural. And every time they make a drug to fix one little thing, they screw up everything else. And insulin affects every single cell in your body. So you don't want to just go randomly try to decrease your insulin level unless you do it naturally with food. And the way you keep your insulin levels down with food is stay away from carbohydrates, which means plant-based foods, which is anything that did not come from an animal. If it didn't come from an animal, it came from a plant. If it came from a plant, it has the basic building block of glucose. Glucose goes into your blood and it makes your insulin levels rise. And once your insulin levels rise, you cannot burn your fat. All you can do is store it. Okay. And I know I went through that really quick, but that's because all my podcasts are about this. I'm just reminding people that this is how we go. So you need to be able to work the wonder drug. If you want to be healthy, if you want to feel great, if you want to live a nice, good quality life, keep your insulin levels low, burn your fat, be in good health, the wonder drug is eating proper nutrition and slight physical activity every single day. If you just do slight physical activity, remember in my podcast last week, we talked about the ones who did the worst in their metabolic profiles were the ones who worked out every single day, but then they sat for all the rest of the day. For over 10 hours, they sat in front of a computer or in front of a screen or something. They had the worst metabolic outcome, even though they worked out every single day, because you need to do little bitty walks all throughout the day to really stay healthy. So how do you get these walks in? And remember, you don't have to have a lot of walks. Everybody talks about 10,000 steps. You have to have 10,000 steps. And again, I explained this in the last podcast, but 10,000 steps, there's no scientific background behind that whatsoever. All that is back in the 60s when somebody from Japan came up with a pedometer, which is what you put on your somewhere on your body. And as you walk, it keeps track of your steps. Back in the 60s, they came up with the pedometer, and it just so happens that the character in Japanese for 10,000 looks like the lower body of a man striding. That's all it is. It just, the character looks like somebody walking, and for 10,000. And so they said, hey, why don't we tell everybody it's 10,000 steps? You do not have to get that. In fact, studies have been shown, like I showed last time, that even, anywhere 2,000 to 4,500 steps is really still good. And if you get more than 4,500 steps, it's still good, but you're not actually gaining anything by doing that. So you do not have to walk 10,000 steps every single day, but you do need to walk. The other thing, so how do you do it? Just take brief, short walks all throughout the day is all you need to do. A leisurely walk. If you can just take a leisurely walk, like especially after lunch or during lunchtime, just go outside and take a nice leisurely walk. Move your body. You've got to move your body. And the reason why this, and in episode, I did a podcast, episode 29, it's called Why is Moving Your Body Important for Infections, Nutrition, and Swelling? So again, that was episode 29. And I highly recommend you listen to that also, because walking, moving your body, moving your lymphatic system is so important to your overall health. And if you don't do it, it can definitely make you a lot sicker. Also, if you're in a place where there's an elevator or escalator, look around and see if there's stairs there. Take the stairs instead of the elevator or the escalator. And again, these are just simple daily walks. Make this something that you really look forward to. You don't even have to walk all the way around the block. You can just walk down the street and back. It all depends on what your activity level is to start with. So how much do you need to walk? They've actually shown that if you move just for a minute, just get up and walk around for a minute or two after every 20-minute session of direct focus. If you're really deep, you're thinking about something, you're looking at a screen and you've got deep focus for 20 minutes, break off and just move around for 1 or 2 minutes, and it'll clear your head. It'll help you to focus more. And if you can, get outdoors. That's going to be the best place for you to get out. And if you get outdoors and you get out in the sunlight and the fresh air, quiet, open space, it can help you think. It can help relax you if your mood. It can help you kind of think through things that you may be dealing with at work. But anytime you can get outside and walk, that's always best. So how much you have to work? Mayo Clinic actually did a study, and they found in their study subject that if they just walked 1 mile an hour, so a normal person walks anywhere from, say, uh, right around 3 miles an hour. Anywhere really from 1 to 3 miles an hour is kind of a normal, depending on who you are. If you're a little bit more shaped, you may have an actual walk where you do like 3 to 4 minutes. I work my normal average walk when I'm walking everywhere is about 4 miles an hour. But you only have to walk 1 mile an hour for 15 minutes after a meal. And they found that if you walk 1 mile an hour, 15 minutes after a meal, for 15 minutes, and you do it right after a meal, then this can usually make your 2 hour, your post-eating glucose spike that people tend to get. This can actually cut that glucose spike in half. So just by walking a light, slow 1 mile an hour for 15 minutes after a meal can decrease that 2 hour postprandial glucose spike that you get in your blood. And even if you can't do that after you eat, even if you just do a 10-minute stroll, anywhere within an hour after you eat, and you only walk 10 minutes, they found that even that could decrease your glucose spike by 22%. So even if you just walk for a short amount of time and waited a little bit longer, you still can decrease your post-eating glucose spike that you get. So where do you walk? When do you walk? Oh, first, stress. We talked about stress just a little bit. But if you were overweight or if you were over fat and you do not get out and move, or if you breathe really easily, if you're walking across the floor and you get out of breath, or you walk up one flight of stairs and you get out of breath, okay, that is perfectly fine. Now you know where you're starting from. Do not think you have to get out there and walk for miles. Do not think that you have to get out there and jog. Do not think you have to get out there and run. You do not have to do any of that. You just have to walk little bitty bits all throughout the day. And as you do this, you're going to find out that you're actually start feeling a lot better. Okay. So do not try to run. Do not try to jog. But when you do that and you're not ready to do that, you're actually putting more stress on your body. So you're not getting any of the health benefits because of the stress that you're putting on your body. So don't put yourself under undue stress. So when do you walk, or where should you walk? By far, the best times to walk if you're walking outside is outside as the sun's coming up and outside as the sun's going down. Okay, those are the two best times that you could possibly walk. And this is, again, for your circadian rhythm, because watching the sun actually come up in the mornings and watching the sun actually go down at nights helps set that circadian rhythm. That's your 24-hour biological clock that your body works on. And if you go outside of your circadian rhythm, your body starts feeling it. You feel the stress, you feel groggy, you don't feel like you've had enough sleep, you feel like you're have no energy. So you want to try to keep on your circadian rhythm. And the light going from, like at night, going from light to dark, that's what causes your brain to start secreting melatonin. And melatonin is what's going to help you get to sleep. Okay. In the morning, what you do is your body automatically produces cortisol. Cortisol is your stress hormone. That's what helps you get up out of bed in the morning. And that's why that's also a good time to walk, because your cortisol levels are up. Now you watch the sun come up, and now you start your circadian rhythm again. So now you're ready to go back to bed that night. So if you can walk in the morning and night, that's great. However, anytime you can walk throughout the day is going to be wonderful. That's what you're going to want to do. And I want you to do this. If you could get up very first thing in the morning and just walk 5 minutes, go outside and just work 5 minutes. That's 2.5 minutes down the sidewalk, and then turn around and 2.5 minutes back. If you just do this, you're going to be amazed at how much better you feel throughout that day. So, and make this easy. Like I said, make it like brushing your teeth. It's a no-brainer. You walk, you get up, you put on your clothes, you go outside for a quick 5-minute walk, come back, and you could even put your coffee on, and by the time you get back from walking, the coffee will be done. If you want to do something like that, just whatever you tend to do, make these things work in what you normally do. Don't put any extra stress on it. Just get in your mind that you want to do this. Again, it's for your circadian rhythm. And also they found that when you do this, it actually boosts your energizing neurotransmitters. Okay. The ones that make you feel good, which is dopamine. When you get out and you start walking in the morning, you start firing more dopamine. Your dopamine is the neurotransmitter that's in your nucleus accumbens, which is the pleasure center of your brain. So whenever you get the big dopamine hits, it stimulates the nucleus accumbens and it makes you feel better, makes you feel more energized. So try this. It really, really, really does work. And again, if you go from walk in the morning when you watch the sun come up, that's going to make your melatonin levels go down and your cortisol levels go up. So again, keeping your melatonin levels down is going to keep you more awake at night. That's why people should never, do it. Melatonin is a whole nother issue, but most people do not need to take melatonin. Your body produces it on its own, and you definitely can take too much. And when you take too much, one way you'll know is you can cause a lot of problems like sleepwalking and things like that and not knowing what you're doing. But the other thing, you can be very, very groggy the next morning. If you're groggy the next morning, you take melatonin, that means you probably should not be taking melatonin. So you can get the best way to do it is get melatonin by its natural way. And that's by watching the sun come up in the morning and watching the sun go down at night. That's how you get your melatonin, no matter what age you are. So, and it doesn't have to be sunny. It doesn't have to be sunny. So if you can't physically actually watch the sun come up and the sun go down because it's too cloudy, you're still getting all the benefits. You're getting the ultraviolet rays. You're getting the infrared rays. You're getting everything that you need. You're getting the stimulation of the cortisol and the stimulation of the melatonin, depending on which day, which time you're walking. You're getting out in the free air, the clean space, the quietness. So it's all still good. Even if it's cloudy, that should not stop you from walking by any means. If you're at home, climb the stairs, go up and down the stairs as many times as you can, or just all throughout the day. Just make sure you have to go up and down the stairs for some reason. Walk around the block, or down the block and back, whatever. Everybody's situation is different. Just get out. This is a good time to walk your dog, get out with your family. All of you can get out and just walk. You're exercising, you're out in the sun. You can talk about things, unplug from all the electronics, make this fun. If you're out and about, okay. When you're out at a store, don't try to get to the very closest parking spot. You be the one that parks way out as far as you can. So you walk into the store and you walk back out. And this could also help you get all these stupid door dings that people tend to give you when you try to get to a closer spot. So there's no reason to make yourself walk. You can also, if you ride a bus or you ride a tram, you ride some kind of transportation, instead of getting off at your stop, why don't you get off at the stop prior to that and then walk to where you're going? Just a little bitty things like that you can do. If you take your children to school, don't wait in the big long line, park away and walk your child to school. That gives you time to talk as you get your child. And then when you pick them up at night, do the same thing. Kids hate to be the very last one to be picked up and they're waiting for this long car line to come through. If you park and you come in and you're just sitting there, as soon as they come out, you can walk them to your car. And again, you can talk about their day, just have a nice, peaceful walk, but you're both walking. And again, you can also do things like going to a park. There's all kinds of ways you can get in walking. Just enjoy it. If you're at work, again, just like I said earlier, if there's an elevator or an escalator where you work, take the stairs. That's a great thing about escalators. They can never break. All they do is they become stairs. So you can walk up those, or even if it is an escalator, you can still walk up, even though you're just going to get up there a little bit quicker, but at least you're moving your body. You're getting a little bit of exercise. You're moving your lymphatic fluid. There's so many good things. Take a break every 1 to 2 minutes. If you are focused on something for 20 minutes, okay, try to take a break every 1 to 2 minutes. And if you can't, at least every 2 hours, if you're sitting there focused on something, a computer screen or whatever, focus for 20 minutes, for 2 hours, try to take at least after every 2 hours, try to take at least a 5-minute break. Get up, move around, walk around, get a drink of water. You're going to be amazed at how much better you feel. You can set alarms on your phone, set alarms on your computer, remind you, oh yeah, I need to get up and move around. And a lot of apps will actually do that for you. Like if you have the iPhone, I know they'll do that for you. Um, some people, I've been told that they actually leave things in their car that they know they're going to need that day. So if they forget to walk, they just remember that when it comes to that thing they need, they're going to have to walk out to the car to get it and bring it back. So you can even do things as extreme as that if you want to. Um, if you are in a meeting, say you have a virtual meeting, just walk around and do a virtual meeting on your phone while you're walking. There's no problem with that. And if it's a one-on-one meeting, why don't you ask them if they'd like to meet somewhere and walk outside while you're had your meeting instead of just sitting behind a desk or sitting in a chair? So again, just think outside the box. Just think of all the different ways. How can you get your body moving? That's what's important. So the main keys to fitness, okay? What you really need to do. One, you need sleep. Okay, this is the end, but you've got to have sleep. And I've talked about this in episode 18. It's called, Is Sleep Really that important? Yes, sleep is extremely important. This is the time that you clear all your brain and your body from a lot of toxins. A lot of that's being eliminated from your body. This when you do a lot of your muscle growth, you have growth hormone. This when you're cleaning a lot of toxins out of your brain. So, I mean, there's so much that happens when you sleep. You've got to sleep. And remember last episode, I talked about how you can go 3 seconds without or 3 minutes without oxygen. You can go 3 days without water and 3 weeks without food. And again, these are just examples. You understand what I'm saying. When it comes to sleep, you really need your sleep every day. You can go 24 hours, but your body really starts feeling it. If you try to go 2 or 3 days without sleep, your body knows it. You feel horrible. I think the max is like 11 days, but that is not healthy. You do not ever want to do that. Your body needs sleep, and you really need anywhere from 6 to 10 hours a night. I mean, that's really what you need. So if you can get 8 hours sleep, that's going to be perfect. If you can do that every night, your body will feel it. Now, also, stress. We've already talked about stress is horrible on your body. It puts all kinds of inflammation into your system. So not just all the eating, but anytime you're stressed, if you are in a dysfunctional relationship with someone, you need to get out. If you have toxic friends that when you're around them, they just stress you out and you can't wait to get away from them, you need to get new friends. Just realize this. If you're in a job that you can't stand, it stresses you out, that is not the only job in the world. There are thousands of jobs. You do not have to be stuck to that. If it's causing you stress, get out. Okay. Start looking for another job. Start looking for another partner. Start looking for another anything. Whatever stress, another friend. Okay. Let these stresses get out of your life, and you're going to be so much better for it. Like I said, ultra processed food, never eat man-made food. Okay. Just never eat man-made food. If it's in a box, bottle, bag, or can, get rid of it. And it has ingredients that are more than 3 to 5 ingredients on the list. If there's something you don't know what's on the list, don't eat it. Don't put it in your mouth. It is extremely inflammatory, and it is also obesogenic, meaning it is trying to make you fat. It's trying to make you hungry so you continue to eat their food, because they don't care about your health. They care about their shareholders. That's where that is. So the more you eat, the more money they make for their shareholders. Don't let your body fall into that. Limit your intake of even besides all the ultra processed food, limit your intake of fruits and vegetables. Okay. Limit them. You don't ever need to put a fruit and vegetable in your mouth. Never. You get all the vitamins, all the minerals, all the fat, all the protein, everything you need from meat. However, if you want to eat real fruit and real vegetables, okay, please try to get them from your farmer's market. Try to get it from a local farmer. That way you're eating in season. They put all kinds of chemicals on the vegetables and fruits in the store that you do not want. Okay. So try to get them from a local farmer. Same thing, eat mostly animal products. Okay. When you eat mostly animal products, that's going to totally decrease your inflammation. That's going to keep your insulin levels down very, very low to not existent. It's going to keep that down. So you're actually burning your own fat for your energy source. You're not storing it. So these are all the things that you should be doing. Drinking water all throughout the day is extremely important. Remember, the amount of water you should drink is take your weight in pounds, divide by 2. And this is your ideal body weight. This means the weight that you know you should be weighing. Okay. So if you weigh 230 pounds and you know you should weigh 180, go with 180. Take half of that is 90. That means you need if you weigh 180, you should weigh 180 pounds. You need 90 ounces of water every single day. Okay. So this is maintenance fluid. This is the water that's going to help you do so many things. And again, I did a podcast number 17. Is water really that important? Please go back and listen to that, because yes, water is extremely important. And then again, move. Just move. You do not have to run. You do not have to jog. You don't have to go long distances. Okay. Just move frequently all throughout the day. Short 1, 2, 5 minute walks would be great. If you can get out and do a 20-minute walk, that's wonderful, but you do not have to. But you'd like to start off somewhere, see how long you go, and then build on that. Because if you don't mark it down, you're not going to know if you're improving or not. Okay. So write it down. Keep a journal. How far did you walk? How many minutes did you walk? Maybe you only walked 2 minutes the first day. Then you did 3. Then you did 6. I mean, it's whatever. But if you track it, it's going to help you stay on board and keep going and getting better and better and just keep improving. So I hope you understand what I was saying. You do not have to exercise hard. You don't have to exercise. Just stimulate your muscles. Do lift heavy things. Do get up and walk. Think about balance. Think about flexibility. Think about enough strength to get you by anything that you may need to lift in the future. And think about quick, short bursts. So if you're walking, if you can, it'd be nice to, if you walk, sprint every now and then too. Just sprint, just get your body used to that real quick motion, that fight or flight motion. So that way, if something does happen in your future and you're going to need that, you're not going to be so old and decrepit and inflamed and obese that you can never do that. You can't save your child's life. You can't save somebody because you can't sprint hard enough, and you can't lift anything because you haven't been lifting long enough. So again, you don't have to lift overly, just a little bit more than what you can normally lift, and just keep working at it until you start getting stronger and stronger and stronger. And again, you just need to think about your future. Everybody's different of what they want. Think of your future. What would you like to be able to do? But most people want to walk. Most people want to be able to carry groceries in from the store. Most people would like to be able to walk upstairs. Most people would like to carry their children or their grandchildren. Okay. Most people do. And this is the time to do it. Little bitty increments every single day, all throughout the day. And if you do that for your whole life, when you become elderly, you're going to be so thankful that you did. As we've said before, it's the best gift you can give your future self is your health. So I'll quit talking now. I know I'm rambling, but I just wanted to make sure that everybody understood how important this is. Please get out and walk little bits at a time all throughout the day and enjoy it. And as always, thank you again for listening. Have a fantastic week. And remember, always make simple, healthy choices to live a quality life.